Alright everybody, welcome back in. This is going to be another Stormgate cast. And this is my friend Thanks playing in the blue Vanguard. And I took a moment before I introduced, and we've already got a Lancer here. I'm sorry for that. Whose Lancer is that? That is KR B.O.B's Lancer. I'm sorry, let's get back to the action. KR B.O.B sent his first Lancer straight across the map. And that means Thanks, who has opened with the command post, is under harass, but this is very skilled control to keep his servos alive so far. He's now going to do the servo rotation in and out of the repair-o-matic, which basically makes it so no servos will go down. There is no sentry post yet up at the top, but Lancers are out. Here comes our sentry post. And again, with good control, heal hugs, trying to keep that servo alive, but we're unable to do it. Instead, they overcharge and turn on the offensive. Another servo goes down. A third servo goes down. Are we going to get another Lancer? Yes, another Lancer goes down. So, 2 Lancers for 3 servos is my count. I'm not sure if I got that right. My understanding is just on a pure Luminite. That's going to be a little bit of a win for Thanks, taking out that second Lancer, but due to lost mining time, having to build the sentry post, both of those sentry posts have been salvaged. I can't remember if that's what it's called in this game, but both have been sold back for money. That means that cost has been negated, but the time spent for servos building the command posts, the sentry posts, and also the delay that caused, for instance, to the build, maybe to getting these mech bays up, that was the damage that was dealt there. And when you take all of that into consideration, I think that more than makes up for the loss of the 2 Lancers on B.O.B's part. Now, is that devastating damage done? No, not really. Not quite, but still, I do think B.O.B kind of is happy about the harass that he was able to get. We see one of those Lancers scurry away to get the healing cabbage. Hedgehog shows up. Very nice target fire from Thanks to take out the Shadow Mastiffs here. And it looks like B.O.B is forgetting there are creeps on the map, I guess, just saying this is a battle. I'm gonna send my units out. More Hedgehog showing up, and we're gonna have a little Hedgehog versus Hedgehog battle here. Almost identical armies, although the Scout gets taken out first and the Lancer. So now it's just Hedgehogs on the side of B.O.B having a micro back. The Lancer's not gonna add much to Thanks while they're moving around the map like that. But Thanks says, fine, you're gonna retreat home. I'll take your camp. Go eat a cabbage, it looks like. Lancer food. And start playing with the Shadow Mastiffs. Meanwhile, B.O.B's saying, I'm gonna go across the map. Expecting maybe to find Thanks there fighting the Shadow Demons. But Thanks is over here with the speed camp. And so B.O.B just goes ahead and takes those demons out himself. Extra speedy now. That's actually going to be helpful in these Hedgehog versus Hedgehog battles. But so far, just skirmishes, and Thanks pulls to take the Vision Camp. Thanks being more aggressive on the creeps. And after that early harass, doing pretty good out on the map. Certainly making up any early losses that may have come from that harass by getting some creep income and continuing that creep income to here. While B.O.B is also creeping, but at the Vision Camp here. Remember, the Vision Camps are just a little easier than these Luminite camps, and so the payout is a little less, and that means Thanks again, just a little ahead on that creep income. How will that play out in this game, if at all? He sees B.O.B come in and decides to retreat. That's just for safety. And Thanks did pull back. What's he got here? He's got a Vulcan and his first med tech out as well. And are we seeing the same thing? Medtechs out on the map here for Bob, as well as a bunch of Therium carrying servos. Come on, servos, return that to your command post before you build a new command post. I guess you can build this one here and return it here. Is that what's going to go down? We will never know. We'll never know. Speed camp recaptured. It looks like Bob has gone out on the map and taken down all those camps. What's that with this scout maybe? Yes. Kind of annoying when you've gone through all the effort to take the camps. We had see the Bobs, and by Bobs I mean servos, moving over here for thanks. That just made me realize this is still KR Bob out here. Wonder if he'll change his name to KR Servo. Or maybe his name's actually Bob. And I've just been assuming he was named after the worker. How embarrassing would that be if I did not know that he was really named Bob? In any case, he's still called Bob, and we have 4 Vulcans out. That's certainly a different choice, whereas Bob's gone straight old Hedgies with the medtechs here. I don't see any Vulcans yet. There we go. Couple Vulcans coming out. And more creeping. So these two have been content to, at most, skirmish while building up. And so far, Bob is a little bit ahead in supply. And has scooted around here. Is going to take this camp. The armies are just sort of circling around each other. Okay, this is... Thanks decides not to engage there. Look at them sort of circling around each other. Not really sure where they are. Gonna retake this. But finally seeing the army. The sky mines above provide a little vision. Hornets are actually pretty good against us until we see Hedgehog sieging up. Shields up on one of the Vulcans for Bob. A big jump in on the shields up Vulcan. Lots of units going down on both sides here. We hear Exos out. I didn't realize there were any bio on the map, but Exos showing up for Bob. Getting a bit of a flake and coming around behind and killing the medtechs and then getting out of there. Trying to get a couple good hits on the Hornets, and the Vulcans stayed alive, but everything else got taken out. But there are 5 Vulcans there, 5 with a Lancer. And what's this? Scouts on the way, interesting. Hedgehogs and Exos, but a lot of medtechs. A system shock with nano swarms. Hedgehogs trying to focus fire down the Vulcans and doing a good job by getting a surround on them so they're not really standing in the line of that AoE. And focus fire a lot down, but the reinforcements from tanks started peeling away Bob's forces and he had to retreat. That's okay. Exos and Hedgehogs showing up behind this and rebuilding that army. Bob's still with that minor supply lead, which he's had here for a few minutes. And thanks moving back. Hold back momentarily. I think that was just a regroup maneuver. And what's he got here? He did have those scouts, but I wonder if that's an intentional... Yeah, he's running them out on the map, so they were intended more as scouts. I thought, I'm like, is this part of his comp? Does he know something? Does he use them as tanks or something? Does he use them in some way? I think he was just using them to get out on the map. And, ooh, this one unfortunately didn't capture before he retreated. And that might have been just because he pulled back to be a bit of an actual scout. And that one gets taken out too. So thanks. Use the scout for what they're for, which is to scout out on the map, but I'm not sure what they learned. They found where the army was, and thanks. Use that to try not to get caught, I guess. He is moving out. His force doesn't look super big. He hasn't added any extra Vulcans here. He's added medtechs and such. Perhaps once you get to around 5 Vulcans, you don't need to keep adding Vulcans. These sky mines keep making me think there's something out on the map. Oh no! Hornets got system shocked. Well, it was the Exos who got system shocked, but as a result, the Hornets got chunked and taken out. That's just a sensor drone there looking for armies, but it looks like Bob is wanting to make something happen here and is going to push in. No, he actually goes for the camp. He sees these Bobs, and by Bobs I mean servos. He's going to go get some free servos now. This obviously is not great for Thanks, but he has forced Bob to chase his army out. If there was some way that he could take advantage of that, that would be good, but I don't know. His composition's not super mobile. Oh, a ton more scouts, so he is adding them to his composition. So not quite as mobile. The scouts certainly are, but the rest of it isn't very mobile. So that doesn't mean he can really take advantage of Bob being out of position. Whereas, look at what Bob's got here. Now, Bob's army is fairly mobile. The Exos are speedy. Hedgehogs are speedy. And Medtechs, of course, with their system shock can help there. A couple Hornets going down. They're basically Scout Hornets. We got an interesting kind of concave here as we got Exos on the bottom and Hedgehogs, yes, circling around the top up there. That's exactly what you want out of these concaves. Ooh, tons of survival protocol triggering on those Exos, keeping them alive. And wow, actually the Vulcan's not doing that bad. Ooh, jump jet on top of the Exos, getting some actual kills. These Vulcans are so hardy and doing so good. It's only when the Vulcan of Bob shows up that really they start putting damage. Wow, I think 2 of these Vulcans are fresh, but Thanks started with 5 Vulcans and still has 5, so that was a really good defend there. Thanks actually swapping the supply lead there. And now actually Thanks stopping with his Vulcans to try and fight back there. The dog's getting out on front. I wonder again if the scouts are part of this. We're starting to see, what are those? Sticky bombs. Okay, I didn't actually see the Graven there. So we got sticky bombs out from Thanks as well. That's going to slow down retreats. Actually, sticky bombs on another sticky bomb out on the map. And wow. Thanks again pulling back. Not certain why. His Vulcans are still pretty full health there. Maybe it's because his medtechs are low. Low on energy, that is. We got Therium miners heading out here with a scrapyard. And we've got Battle of the Bobs. Who can build the sentry posts fast enough? We've got Bob coming down to see what he can do. But we also have Thanks trying to get in here. And Thanks does have very good micro. Trying to catch some of these units out on the map. Survival protocol again triggering. Keeping those Exos alive so that they can be healed up by the medtechs is really clutch. Bunch of servos here making this army look bigger than it really is. And this sentry post is down, and these servos, there's nothing for them here except death. This army is down here hiding out in the long grass. But there's a lot of Exos. Bob has been able to retake the supply lead there, and that's just got to be on macro alone, as he is on more bases and is likely able to produce much quicker. A lot of Exos. The survival protocol has been really helping out this game, as we've been seeing a lot of them getting low, triggering that survival protocol, and then staying alive somehow, staying alive, John Travolta style. momentary lull as they're gonna retake these towers. Instead of, I mean, they haven't really been scrapping, but they were at least positioning around each other. I guess Thanks has decided not to. I mean, there are a lot of sentry posts here, but that's pretty easy to pull out with his army. Maybe he's fearing attack. It's just trying to get in a good defensive position. Again, his units are not super mobile, and that means it's hard for him to take advantage of Bob while he's out on the map, maybe out of position as he is here. Like, Tanks has full knowledge that this is where the units are, but other than taking out a few reinforcements here, what can he do? Ooh, there's Atlases being added up here for Bob. Bob is maxed now. His army is awkwardly split, but no, they regroup in. And he's going to try and push in here. Atlas is on both sides. Thanks is really good at his evac and Atlas control. I imagine Bob is also... Most Vanguard players are quite good with their Atlases. Ooh, that was a case of not placing them down at the right position. This is a very weird, awkward positioning for both of them to choose to fight in, but Bob is going to slowly go around, getting caught by a ton of sticky bombs, putting him out of position, and attacking into Vulcans. That's not really what you want. Atlas on the high ground. And Bob's actually got himself in a very awkward position here, up on this high ground, but nowhere near any production, cut off from reinforcement, has to just push down the map. Does get one of the Atlases, and actually does an okay job here. There are Atlases still in the back firing down for Thanks, but a lot of Thanks forces are cleaned up here. Couple Vulcans still. They're trying to get microed a little bit by the evac, but that means the Atlas gets taken out. And this is not looking great for Thanks, actually. He had a good opportunity there, did his best with his Vulcans and his Atlases, but there's just too many units here. The Atlas is sieging up. And they're going to start laying down fire on servos. You don't like to see that if you're a servo. Couple Hornets fly overhead, get taken out. This looks like a bad rally as these units are running by, and Thanks is going to GG.